Hello. Today I like to talk about atheism and agnosticism, more specifically referring to a common problem many atheists today have. And it's a very fundamental problem that causes much confusion between the various camps. When religious people or theists talk to an atheist, the atheist and the religious individual, let me adjust this, often get into disagreements based solely upon a definitional error. Now, many atheists like to claim that they're open to the existence of God, that they're not really rejecting God, they're just not convinced he exists, so on and so forth. They haven't seen the evidence for it, or whatever else. Now, interestingly enough, we need to review definitions first, so we know what we're talking about here. So this definition I pulled up is from dictionary.com. Atheist, a noun, a person who denies or disbelieves in the existence of a supreme being or beings. Alright, that is a dictionary definition of atheism. Now you'll notice something. It's making an affirmative statement. What I mean by affirmative statement is saying this position is true. It's not affirmative as in saying I believe in God, but my affirmative position is that there is no God. That's an affirmative position. That's telling someone that my position is that there is no God. You're making an establishment. You're saying this universe has no deities, has no supernatural, whatever. You know, you're making an affirmative, non-questioning statement. Now, let's look up the word agnostic. Now, a lot of atheists, when they say they're open to the existence of God, that they're thinkers and whatnot, they're not, they're open to the possibility. They're really not talking about atheism at that point. They're looking at agnosticism. Now, agnosticism, a person who holds that the existence of God, noun, again, dictionary.com, a person who holds that the existence of the ultimate cause as God or the essential nature of things are unknown and unknowable, or that a human is limited to their experience. Second definition, as simpler, a person who denies or doubts the possibilities of ultimate knowledge in the area of God. Third definition, a person who holds neither of the two opposing positions on the topic. You can be agnostic as to a debate, but whatever, free trade, I'm agnostic to it. In other words, I don't really care about it. Or I don't know. Now, agnosticism should not be confused with skepticism. And again, this is an issue of confusion here on the part of many an atheist. Now, when someone says, now we can go to burden of proof type deal. When someone says, you've made a definitive positive statement that there's a God, you must prove it. Now, in my opinion, being a theist, I look around, I see the trees, I see the sky, and I think all of that is proof. The order in the universe, the delicate nature, the balance of the universe, I see that all as proof. Now, an atheist will look at that and they just see matter. Who's right? We can have a debate about it, and I'm guaranteeing you it would never end. And you're not going to convince me, and I'm probably not going to convince you. But the atheists, where they falter, is that they refuse to accept the idea that they've also made a definitive statement that would require them to provide proof. They've said there is no God. This is the definitive statement. You've made a statement of condition. This is that may sound like a negative statement, but it really isn't. It is a positive statement. It is a fact point you're putting forward. There is no God. Not that I don't know, not that I haven't been convinced, but you've made a point of saying there isn't a God. That is a positive statement, phrased in negative terms, but it is a positive statement. Another example I could say is, I think Democrats hate blacks. Well, that's a negative statement, but it's a positive thing. And you would say, prove it. And it'd be very natural for you to do that. Well, guess what? You're saying basically the same thing here. You're saying there is no God. Prove it. You know, and then you can go to science and go all this other stuff, and we can get into debates of the proof part, but the point is, both sides have made definitive statements. Both sides would have to provide evidence to support their claims. Not just the theists. That's just laziness on the part and avoidance on the part of the atheist. Now, the agnostic can ultimately take the position of saying, I don't have to provide proof because I'm saying I don't know. And that position permits them the ability to demand proof from either side because they haven't made it. They don't have to prove they don't know. It's a personal judgment. It's inside them. It's a feeling. They're just lack of knowledge. They have a lack of knowledge on the subject matter. Now, there can be militant atheists who think, I don't know, and you can't know either. You know. But generally speaking, atheists are not agnostics. Now, you can be an atheist with agnostic leanings. And actually, you can be a theist with agnostic leanings. Both can exist. And that means you're primarily of one position, but you're willing to change your mind if evidence presents itself. But to do that, you have to lay claim to the word agnostic, which means you don't know. To some degree or another, you have to lay claim to it. You can't simply keep claiming that, oh, I reject the idea of the existence of God, but I'm open to it, and I'm an atheist. No, you're not. You're not agnostic, or you're an atheist with agnostic leanings. You guys have to get your definitions right, otherwise conversations will never go anywhere. And you guys seem to be hell-bent on redefining the word atheist by basically wimps. And if we can't agree on what definitions of the words are that we're using, then we're never going to ever have a real conversation. Thank you very much. Have a good day and God bless.